other little girl who was a Native American. And it be your own fucking people. Like, okay, so I'm at the bus stop, right? I'm on the bus from going home from school to the bus. And we stop, and there's this little girl. She's indigenous. She has like this Native American backpack on, but she also looked like she could be Mexican.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Candace Yvette with Black Women Aware, and I am back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be covering some missing persons cases. Now, I am sorry, my computer, my Wi-Fi was lagging, so I was trying to get that fixed. Plus, I was trying to download the slides that I needed for this video. As far as the other live that I was gonna do today about Denisha, I think it is Denisha Montgomery. I am still like researching that case. And like I do with a lot of families on Black Women Aware, I often will reach out to the families so they could come up and speak with us about the case, because a lot of times when it's these mysterious missing persons cases or murders, they don't tell the public enough. Like, we're not asking for the information that, authorities have told you not to release, but sometimes with these cases, they don't tell people enough to go off of. Okay, so I did reach out to her family. Plus, it's two other young ladies who had mysterious deaths in the military, and I'm looking those up and studying those too. So I had to reschedule that one because I still don't have a lot of information. But anywho, get my slides up here. We will be covering two different cases today. This first young lady, her name is Khia Ragin Smith. Okay, and let's just jump right into it. So, y'all, I have been busy these last few days. So yeah, I had to remove some stuff and move some stuff around on today's live, and we will be covering Kaya's case, and we'll be covering Ieshia's case today. So I am pulling up my notes. Okay, so again, with a lot of these missing young ladies, the one thing that you want to take into account, I know people don't think it's a huge thing, but their height and weight. Okay, Khia Ragin Smith, she went missing just recently, y'all. She went missing September 27th of 2022, so just a few days ago. Okay, she is 20 years old. She went missing out of Richmond, Virginia. Okay. And again, I know the height and weight is not a big thing, but I always point that out because, again, a lot of these young ladies who go missing, they are always a certain height and weight. What's up, BG? But yeah, I had to, BG. I had to research the soldiers because it's getting so overlooked. And every time you look up one of these black female soldiers, what do they say? Oh, well, they committed they unalived themselves. They did it themselves, and I really doubt that. And I have to look up the statistics, the national statistics on people who unalive themselves, because from what I've noticed, and this is only my personal experience, this is not a statistical fact, but from what I've noticed when I worked at the hospital, a lot of the majority of people who unalive themselves are usually of the demographic of white and male. And then it's white and female. And then it is black males. And then it is black females. That's how the order goes. Okay. but that's just my experience. But anywho, not to get distracted because I will be discussing that next week. This is Khia, okay, y'all. Her name is Khia Ragin Smith. Again, she just went missing September 27th of 2022. She is from Richmond, Virginia. Again, y'all, take note of the height and weight. Khia is 5'6". She's 150 to 160 pounds. She's just a little outside of that range that I always tell y'all to pay attention to, okay? The range I said to pay attention to when these young ladies go missing is 5 feet to 5 inches, 100 pounds to about 150 pounds, okay? Because with the S word trafficking and human trafficking going on, I feel like, and this is just a theory of mine, but I feel like they kind of stay within that range, okay, with petite young ladies, okay? So it says this is her circumstances of disappearance, and it's not a lot here on Khia. So hopefully I can, get a hold of a family member, or they will look in my description box, see my email, and hit me up and tell me as much as possible. Usually when it's one of our missing, you want to know as much as possible. For a different slew of reasons, and I'll get into those in a minute. But it says Khia was last seen wearing a gray sweatpants and a white shirt. Attached is one of her latest pictures. Okay, so if you look down in this right corner on the picture of the left, so you can see she has like all of her hair cut off. Okay, so that must be one of her latest pictures. Okay, and this family, I'm glad that they provided her pictures like with the different hairstyles and stuff, because that's one thing that I stress on Black Women Aware, especially with Black women, because we look so different with different hairstyles and stuff like that and all. Okay, so it says she has cut her hair shorter. Okay, she has some special needs that are not disclosed. Again, I wish they would have disclosed this stuff, because it kind of helps you pinpoint that person if you know what disabilities that they have, whether it's physical or mental. Okay, and it says if you live in or near Mosby Court, keep your eyes open. Please contact the non-emergency number for the Chesterfield County Police or Detective Hagin at area code 804-661-5191. Now, again, Khia is one of those young ladies who she looks very different. Like if you look at this picture with from her with the bald hairstyle, from the short curly hairstyle, to the picture on the right with the braids and the sunglasses on, she looks very, very different. Okay, these next two clips, this is Khia as well, y'all. That don't even look like this right here. This young lady, it looks like different women. Okay, and I'm grateful that I was able to find a bunch of different clips of Khia, a bunch of different pictures, because she does look different. So I would say kind of focus on her facial structure. Okay, focus on her facial structure and how she looks there. So again, if you have any information on her whereabouts, I will be placing the contact information for the police department in the description box below. Okay, this is a message from, I believe, her uncle, and he says, "Good evening," and he put this on Facebook. He said, "Good evening, Facebook family and friends. Hope this message finds you all safe and well. I never thought I would ever have to post a message like this, but I desperately need your help. My 20-year-old niece, Khia Rosalee Ragin, is missing. She is 5'6". She weighs about 150 to 160 pounds." And he is the one who attached these photos here of Khia, okay? And it says, please contact the non-emergency number, the number that I just read off, and that will be in my description box if you have any information on Khia. Okay, again, Khia is missing out of Richmond, Virginia, and I am on to my next case. Okay, this young lady, her name is Ieshia Jackson, okay? This is Ieshia Jackson. And again, if you compare the two photos, Ieshia definitely looks different. Like you can kind of recognize her by her nose, the structure of her nose, and the way that her nose is shaped or whatever. But Ieshia, from one picture to the next, she looks very, very different, okay? So without any further ado, now her circumstances of disappearance are she's highly endangered, y'all. Okay, it was a lot that went on, and I had to research a lot about her, and there's still things about her that I haven't found. Okay, so I'm gonna get into this article here because it is some stuff that came out about this case. So this is just one of the articles, okay? Matter of fact, before I read that, I'm going to get into the I'm going to read off her description, like her physical description, and I'm going to read off how long she's been missing and get all that important stuff out before we get into the circumstances of her disappearance. That way I don't forget to do that. Now if I can find what I'm looking for, I know I have it. Okay, so again, Ieshia Jackson, she went missing November 4th of 2020. Ieshia, at the time of her disappearance, she was 22 years old. Today, she would be 24. She is missing, or last place she was seen was El Dorado, Arkansas. She is about, now pay attention to her height and weight. She was 4'11", y'all. She was 4'11". Now, look at this picture. It looks like she could be taller than what she is. But if you kind of look at that coffee table behind her and the lamp and everything, you kind of can understand or see that she was very short. But it still looks like a tall young lady. But she's not tall at all. And she was about 135 pounds. She was very tiny. Again, women within this height and range that I always speak about on this channel, I'm not speaking about your height and weight to pick on you. I'm speaking about your height and weight because I believe your height and weight makes you at higher risk for being S-word trafficked or human trafficked. And you need to learn self-defense skills and things like that. Okay. Because that height and that weight on these young ladies, I feel like that's the highest at risk for something crazy happening. Okay, so it's a lot to cover within her circumstances of disappearance. So it says Ieshia Jackson of El Dorado, Arkansas, has been missing since November 4th of 2020. There are mysterious circumstances surrounding her case. Shortly after her disappearance, authorities revealed 2 break-ins had happened at her home in 1 week. So it doesn't say in this article that her house was burglarized or robbed during those break-ins, but somebody definitely got in, and they got in twice in 1 week. So somebody was definitely looking for her. That's what I get from reading that. So it says when authorities arrived at her residence, they discovered her cell phone was still present. Okay, and the front door was left open. Okay, now one thing that I want y'all to realize with a lot of cell phones that they're making, the latest model cell phone, you cannot remove the battery now. And I had just upgraded my phone, and the reason why I'm bringing this up because it dawned on me because I was sitting up there and I was watching this crime show earlier. I was watching Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, and it's like a crime drug show. And I'm sitting up there and I noticed that whenever the bad guys, they call the other people with the old school cell phones, the flip phones and stuff, they would take the batteries out of the phone so the phone would not ping on the towers, and their location would not be given up. So I was sitting up there and I was praying because I'm like, and I don't get down on my knees and pray. But when I say I pray, I'm literally just saying I was sitting there talking to God. I was sitting there eating my snacks and watching, and I was like, man, why don't they make phones that you can remove the battery? And it's because of situations like this. They started to make these cell phones to where you cannot remove the battery out of your phone. They still have some around where you can remove the battery, but the majority of the cell phones, as cell phones are um, uh, progressing and they're getting more and more technical and turning into little miniature computers, you're getting phones that you cannot remove the battery, and it's because of situations like these and other criminal activities. And it dawned on me, y'all, just earlier, and I could not believe it. I'm like, oh, because they didn't really, phone companies, when you go in there and you replace your phone, they don't really give you a reason as to why they started that, or why phone factories or wherever they make your phone started to make the phone to where the batteries cannot be removed. And again, y'all, earlier it dawned on me. I was watching this crime show and it dawned on me, and I said, oh wow, they make them like that so that the phone can and this is my theory, but they can always ping off of those towers. You can't remove these batteries now. So, anyways, with Ieshia, her phone was still present, or at her residence when she went missing. Her front door was left open. An article published in 2021 by, it says, My Arc Lamis. Okay, and I believe that's I believe that's like all the states combined, the three states, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi combined, and they just named their journal or newspaper, whatever it is, after it. But it says myarclamis.com put Jackson at 23 years old that year. The El Dorado Crime Stoppers offered a $3,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of anyone who may have had anything to do with her disappearance. Captain Scott Harwell of El Dorado Police Department released a statement asking for information of her whereabouts. What we need at this time is for people to come forward and tell us what they know. People don't want to get involved. People are scared of retaliation, but there are people out there that have information on this case, he shared. According to the December 2020 news report from local station NBC 10, Jackson's ex-boyfriend, now his name is hard to pronounce, it's Samaji Desmuk. It sounds kind of like an African name. Let me hit this slide here. So Samaji, this is him on the left, okay? This lighter complected, younger looking guy, that's Samaji. That's her ex-boyfriend, okay? And he was arrested in connection with her disappearance. He was released after officials could not gather enough evidence within their allotted time frame. So just because he was released doesn't mean he was just let go scot-free. It just means they didn't have what they need to pin him. But they definitely suspect he has something to do with Ieshia's disappearance, okay? Samaji's defense attorney argued that formal charges weren't filed within 60 days and officials did not want to risk having evidence tossed out. In order to formally charge, you have to know that you have enough to go forward with the case, okay? Just said that. If you charge someone and they are found not guilty, they cannot be charged again. It's called double jeopardy. If 6 months go down the line, if 6 months down the line we got the results or the evidence that we needed, we couldn't go back and charge him again. So they basically saying we let him go not because we don't suspect him. We let him go because when we gather enough evidence to pin this disappearance on him beyond a reasonable doubt, he cannot just slip through our fingers. That's basically what they're saying. A second suspect, this man, this older looking man on your right, is 46-year-old Kenneth Lee, and he was charged with extortion after allegedly soliciting $8,000 from her family for information on Jackson's whereabouts. So basically what he did was he went to the family and he lied and was like, oh, well, I know where she at or what have you, and got them for whatever reward money that they had to help locate her or get promising leads that would help bring Ieshia home, which is real trifling that he would do something like that. And these are the type of people we live amongst as Black women. It's very shameful. This is why I'm starting to get into a habit of, when it comes to murder cases and missing cases, this is why I think Diamond Bynum, I was supposed to share her GoFundMe, but I did not share it. I said I would share it in a video and I did not share it. And the one reason why I didn't share it is because of stuff like this. I don't have like I'm finna start making it a rule on Black Women Aware that unless the family talks to me personally, I will not be sharing a GoFundMe or anything like that, because a lot of times what's starting to happen with a lot of these missing and murder cases and families holding rewards and holding out hope that people will come forth and bring promising information is you have people out there that's so trifling and so careless and so demonic that they will lie to get that money out of these people. Okay. So unless I hear from the advocate for the family or the person who is a part of the family or close to the family that is running these GoFundmes and stuff like that, I've decided I'm not going to share them anymore. Okay, my email is right there in the description. The best I can do is run the story. And when I run the story, as you guys can see, if you look on my other videos, families do come back to Black Women Aware. As small as this channel is, they come here and they watch these cases. So when they watch these cases, if they have a legit GoFundMe, send it in my email first, and I will post it either in the description box or to the comment section later on after the video has aired. But I will no longer just be taking random GoFundMe's and putting them in these videos or in my description boxes or things like that. It has to come directly from the family. And this is why this man extorted $8,000 from this woman's family. Okay, he didn't give a damn whether they found her or not. He didn't give a damn about Ieshia. He didn't give a damn about, that possibly this money was probably scraped up by a struggling family. He didn't care, y'all. He just went in and got them for whatever. But I'm glad they caught his ass, okay? But yeah, it was another article written about Ieshia as well, and I wanted to read that one as well. I have to look it back up because it's a lot of mysteriousness around her disappearance. Like she didn't just she didn't just walk off one day. Something happened. It was two break-ins that happened at her home. Her cell phone was left in her residence. Okay, and then they have, I think, some evidence or some proof that the ex-boyfriend could have had something to do with it, but they don't have enough to like pin him and charge him and get him locked up or whatever. Okay, so this is a post from one of her loved ones. They say Ieshia Jackson is still missing. We are asking Facebook family and friends to keep her face in the public eye so no one will forget about her until she returns. Somebody knows something. Somebody definitely knows something. But my question is why? Like, why did they go after this young girl? What, you know, like what happened between her and that boyfriend? I know something happened or whatever. And I know, we like to say the easiest excuse is S word trafficking or human trafficking, but we can't always gloss over these cases like that. We got to get details on them. You know what I mean? So yeah, and here's another one, and it just says that she's missing. Um, Please, everyone, go and share and let's get her out there. I think they meant get her name out there because somebody knows something. Okay, they just put her on Nameless. She has a Nameless ID number. When the people go on the Charlie Project, it's a website called the Charlie Project and the Nameless website. I think they only put missing persons on there who have been missing over a year or two. And I wish I could upload this picture that I just found of Ieshia because she was very pretty, y'all. Very pretty girl. So let me look up the police department and the information you all can uh, contact if you have any information. Even if you just want to DM me or send me an email, rather, because I am on Facebook and I am on YouTube as well. So if you want to send me a DM and have me send the information, that's fine as well. I don't reveal sources. I keep people anonymous or whatever. My only goal is to get these young ladies home or whatever. Me personally, if I was to give my opinion, I don't really think Ieshia is still present, especially because of all the craziness that happened is surrounding her disappearance. I don't think she is still present. Okay, and it's been almost 2 years, which is, it's sad. It really is, because again, they had that lady that went missing. I believe she was in Memphis, Tennessee, and she was a woman of no color. And they not only found out, like, they didn't save her in time, of course, but they found her remains. They found the culprit. They had him locked up. They went over all of his history. And y'all know that they did that within a week's time. In 7 days, they had that woman's corpse. They had a suspect. Suspect was locked up. They had a full timeline history on this man and all. And here we are looking at Ieshia, and you have all of these signs that uh, something went crazy. Something happened when she disappeared, and we don't have damn near nothing to go off of. I've never heard of Ieshia or whatever. And I bring that up because when I think of people of no color, I can literally name cases and dates of when they went missing. But again, when it comes to Black women, I cannot do that. And it's sad because, again, the more time that passes, the less, they'll have to work with as far as evidence and stuff like that. But the El Dorado Police Department, their number as well will be in the description box. And it is area code 870-881-4800. Okay, that's the number to call if you have any information on the whereabouts of Ieshia Jackson. Okay, and again, for those of you who were wanting me to cover the case on the soldier and the mysterious death of the soldier, I had to reschedule that live because, again, I don't only want to research Denisha Montgomery, but there were other young ladies who was in the Army who mysteriously passed away, or they, they're always getting ruled that they unalive themselves. Okay, oh, they unalive themselves, and I just keep finding that strange because I'm like, if you think about the lifestyle of Black women, the majority of Black women from birth until death, they endure a lot of trauma. They go through a lot of bullshit. You as a Black woman, you go through problems in this life. And I'm not saying all Black women are mentally well, but what I am saying is I find it hard to believe that Black women would be like the leading causes of unalives. I can't really say it because of the YouTube bots, but I don't believe in my heart of hearts that Black women lead with unaliving themselves. So when you get these Army women and you're hearing like every woman of color and their mysterious deaths and what's happening around their deaths, and they're like, you have all of this evidence that something happened around the time of their death, and then it comes back, oh, she unalived herself, and I'm like, nah, something else is awry here. Then not only that, but I feel like the Army is getting away with it because not enough people are paying attention to it. Okay, and it's not just Denisha Montgomery; it's others. Okay, and I don't know a lot about the Army. I did have a young lady on here who had been, I think she's the Secretary of Security or something. I interviewed her on Blackwomenaware, and it was actually a really rewarding interview. And I'm surprised that interview did not get a lot of views or whatever, because she was a very incredible woman, y'all. She accomplished a lot being in the military and all. I learned a lot from just speaking with her. But I'm surprised it didn't get a lot of views. But we briefly talked about the deaths of Black women in the military or whatever on that interview as well. And I'm hopefully I can hit her up and have her on that live as well, so she can teach me, because I don't know a lot about the Army, y'all. But I am willing to take the first step forward and get these women their stories out there or whatever, because again, they're being buried. Okay, nobody is talking about these women in the Army and how they are mysteriously passing away, and they're just being just like it's just like the lynchings of 2022, because lynchings still happen. They'll say it in a minute, oh, well, this person unalived themselves. I find that hard to believe that any person of color, especially Black people, will find a tree and throw themselves off of it as a way of unaliving themselves, not just because of the history, but because if you look at our communities, even the murders of Black women alone, majority of the murders, and this is not my opinion, this is statistically proven, the murders are of Black women, whether it was a domestic violence issue, whether it was between friends, whether it was between mother and daughter, mother and son, what have you, they mainly die by firearm. So why would this certain group of people who, when a homicide is committed, they are mainly passing away by firearm? How is it that when they so-called are found deceased in trees, it's the statistics or these reports and these detectives and shit, they saying, oh well, they unalive themselves. I find that very hard to believe. You mean to tell me we can commit homicides with firearms, but when it comes to unaliving ourselves, we picking trees? Nah, you know what I'm saying? And then Black people, the trauma and the stress of just being who we are and living in our skin in America, I highly doubt that a Black person will want to suffer as they're trying to pass away. I believe a firearm, and this is my opinion, I believe if somebody wants to unalive themselves, they're going to use a firearm because it's lights out and it's quick. It's done quickly. Okay. And I'm not saying Black people do not unalive themselves. I'm saying that the ones that have unalived themselves, they usually do it by firearm. So when I hear that, okay, you have, Black people hanging in trees and things like that, oh, they unalive themselves, that's hard for me to believe, especially when there's no evidence to prove that. Also with these army women, it was one of them, I don't believe it was Denisha, but I believe it was another one of them who they said she unalived herself, but how they see like the gun wound. Y'all have to forgive me because I'm a little out of it. I'm anemic, y'all, and I took my little iron pill late, so I'm kind of scrambled brained. That's why I keep stuttering and everything. So excuse me for that. But anyways, it was one young woman, a Black young woman, who before Denisha Montgomery passed away, she had died by firearm. She had been popped, okay? And just by the trajectory of how the bullet went in and the angle and things like that, they found out that it was no way in high heaven or low hell this woman could have popped herself. But they still managed to rule it like a suicide. And that was amazing to me. They cover them up and they get them out of here instead of fixing these people who are within the army who are getting, what I'm saying, who are doing these murders and getting away with it. And I wonder why they won't do anything about it. Is it because they don't get a lot of army recruits? Like, what is going on? So let me look up the young lady's name so y'all can go back and watch that interview, because we did briefly touch on the murders in the army, the murders and things that happen in the army. We briefly touched on that. And I was surprised because I felt so honored to do that interview with that young lady, and I was surprised. I'm like, man, it didn't get as many views as the other interviews did, because I interviewed a school counselor. I interviewed young lady Ashley Banks, who is starting a realty business for, like, she wants Black women to be homeowners, and she's teaching them how to be financial literate and all that. So if you go on blackwomenaware, and I have a playlist, and it's called Candace and Scent Interview Black Women. Okay. And this young lady that I interviewed, her name was Audrisha. Okay. Her name was Audrisha. Sorry, y'all. I clicked on the doggone video. Her name was, I believe, yeah, Audrisha Harris is her name. And it was a wonderful interview, y'all. She came a little late, so I was a little upset because I really was looking forward to interviewing her, but she did pull through and come to the interview. And she is an army person. I believe she's a secretary of security or something. She worked with some high ranking people, even as close as to the White House. So I was very surprised that interview it didn't get as many hits like it, and I can't control what people watch and don't watch or support. That's y'all right to support whatever video that y'all want to or what. But she just had a lot of information. She had a lot of stuff to share. She through her experience and everything, she just was it was just amazing talking to her, y'all. That's all I can say. And I believe I spoke to her for like an hour or so. And what she wanted to talk to people about was becoming a leader or whatever. It was a very incredible interview. But yeah, for lack of anything else to say, and the fact that I'm all over the damn place because uh, I'm anemic and I took my damn iron pill late. But I'm going to get off of here. But just y'all remember the faces of these young women. Um, it's crazy how I randomly pick these women. Uh, these two, especially Khia and Ieshia. And as y'all can see, both Khia and Ieshia, they look different. These is just two women, but this is different pictures of them. They look very different in these different shots with the different hairstyles and stuff like that. But again, if you have any information on their whereabouts, the numbers to the police departments will be in the description box below. You can contact them anonymously. If you don't even want to contact them, you can contact me and I'll get the information over to them. You will be remain anonymous. I'm not going to, say anything of who you are. My main goal is like the families of these young ladies. Their main goal is getting them home, y'all. Like, I don't care who you are. We just want to get these young ladies home. Okay. But that is what all I have for y'all tonight. Please like the video again, not for my benefit, but for the benefit of these young ladies, so their families can get closure or get a step closer into bringing them home. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think of this video or whatever, what y'all think about these cases. Share the video. Somebody just messaged me and said, hey, can I share this on Facebook? I always encourage y'all to share these videos. Yes, you can share them. Yes, you can share them on any platform, whatever. Again, it's not for my benefit. It is for the benefit of these young ladies. You all please remember what I always tell y'all. Be safe, be alert, be aware. This is Candace Yvette, and I am signing off.